Hello everyone and welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh video on the channel. Episode 56 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush is coming out later today, and once again I'm going to be discussing things for the episode before I've seen it. Now this video as a whole contains spoilers for the show up to episode 56, so if you don't want that I suggest you turn off this video now and come back after you've watched Go Rush. I'm also going to be going over the sub as I have not watched the dub for this show. And now let's jump into episode 56. Unfortunately, thanks to Dylan's spoilers, I already know part of what happens in the episode. I know what duel it's going to be. I'm still annoyed about that, by the way. Dylan, next time you do spoilers, please put a spoiler warning in front of it. The duel is apparently going to be Ryugu Tremolo versus Yuhi, which is cool because we don't know what deck Tremolo runs yet. That being said, though, that does leave me with a few questions. Namely, how this duel is going to get set up. Last time we saw, Yuhi left his deck and duel disk in some kind of storage area. He might have gone back to get them, which kind of makes sense since he seems to have been enjoying the duels that he's watched recently. So he may have decided to take up dueling again. But there is another, admittedly less likely path that the show could go down to set this duel up. What if Tremolo found the stuff and somehow figured out that it was Yuhi's? Then Tremolo could find Yuhi wandering around town and basically chuck the stuff at him and say, "We're dueling. If I win, you tell me where Yumu is." It was already established back in episode 52 that Tremolo wants to duel and capture Yumu, so I think this would make sense. Now, in regard to the duel outcome, there are a few paths that the show could go down. I do think it's probably going to end in a draw or a DNF. There's no way Yuhi's beating Tremolo, and if Yuhi loses, he's either getting carded or he's going to have to tell Tremolo where Yumu is. I really don't think he's getting carded though. Tremolo probably isn't going to pull out the maximum on Yuhi, and as far as we know, characters only get carded when they lose to maximums, but you never know what might happen. The other reason I don't think he's getting carded is that we still haven't found out what Yuga-chan said to him right before he got carded. Right now, the only people that know what he said that haven't gotten carded are Phaser and Yuhi. And there's no way we're finding out from Phaser. Like, if we're going to find out, either they're going to fix the audio on the tape, or Yuhi's going to tell them. There's no way we're finding out from Phaser. So Yuhi's definitely not winning or getting carded, and if he does end up losing, which he probably won't, he'll have to tell Tremolo where Yumu is, but we'll probably figure out a way to warn her before they get to her. However, I do think the duel will probably end in a draw or a DNF. Most likely a DNF. And now, over to my future self to go over what actually happens in the episode. Okay, what just happened? So, Run's running away from the MIK, and Yuhi saves her. Then Tremolo shows up and challenges them to a duel. Yuhi accepts and realizes that he still doesn't have his stuff. Luckily, Damamu shows up with Yuhi's duel disk and deck. Tremolo ends up getting really angry at Yuhi, says the classic "I'll never forgive you" line, and pulls out a first turn maximum. I mean, I didn't even think he was going to use the maximum on Yuhi, but first turn? Are you kidding me? Part of the way through the duel, we learn that Yuhi hasn't dueled for the entire 2 years between seasons, but he's still been building new decks. Yuhi also tricks Tremolo into admitting that Phaser has a secret that he can't tell anyone. Also, Tremolo really likes to hear himself talk, apparently, and is kind of protective of his brother. I think this is a little extreme, but anyway, a flash grenade ends up going off right in Yuhi's face and temporarily disables his vision, so he can't see his cards. Thankfully, though, Run pulls a Sogetsu style and helps him out. We also get some cool shots of the Sogetsu legend that Gakuto talked about in Sevens. Then, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, Yuhi pulled out a power bond? Excuse me? What just happened? What do you mean Yuhi runs power bond? I didn't even know that card had a rush duel equivalent. Now someone other than Cyrus and Zane is running it? Alright, I'm still in shock over that, but I'm going to stop myself right there. And get back to the duel. Tremolo activates a card that makes Yuhi just barely able to not finish him off, so Yuhi is forced to end his turn, and he takes the power bond damage. Tremolo uses his Maximum's extremely broken final effect to gain the attack points of Yuhi's monster. Run tells Yuhi to run and to take a card, but he tells her that he will not run away and that he's not the one that info needs to go to. Yuhi then loses the duel and gets carded, But right before that, we finally find out what Yuka-chan said to him. Of course, it's the classic line, I leave the rest to you. Tremolo then attempts to capture both Ronron and Yuhi's card, but Dormammu helps her escape. Also, when Tremolo is trying to capture Ronron for the second time, after the duel ends, he says, capture it, which makes me think that Tremolo might have been trying to retrieve the card that Ronron tried to give Yuhi. So, anyway, during this entire episode, Asaka, Yumu, Udius, Manya, and Bocchi were planning a counterattack against the MIK. We don't exactly know what they're planning yet. They haven't showed us any of the plan, just that they're planning something. But it does sound risky, and at the end of the episode, they do appear to be ready to put the plan into action. So, I'm assuming that the next episode is going to be them putting this plan into action. So there wraps up episode 56. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you next time for another Yu-Gi-Oh video.